What if you owned a company? Can you imagine any reason why an employee would decide to resign immediately and leave your company for another company that competes with yours? Surely, situations like this will not only drain you and cause you psychological stress, but you will also want to believe that the other company is superior. This is exactly the kind of situation that Jeff Bezos faced when he discovered that the top engineers who resigned from his company are now queuing up at SpaceX looking for vacant positions, and that many of them have been hired as staff. And we'll agree that before quitting your job to work for another company, there must have been some terrible experience that negatively triggered your commitment to the company, causing you to make the final decision to leave. Hello and welcome to TechSpace. Stay tuned until the end of this video to learn the secret reason why Blue Origin's top engineers left the company to seek urgent employment at SpaceX. You'll also know the various engineers who resigned, so let's roll along. According to a recent Process survey, it is believed that when an employee considers leaving, he or she will be distracted, disengaged, less efficient, and frequently absent. But why didn't Jeff Bezos find out sooner about his top workers? Or did it happen all of a sudden? Keeping a keen eye out for telltale signs of an employee leaving is very important for these three reasons. For starters, it allows you to address the issue early on, and hopefully change the employee's mind. Second, it provides an opportunity to prevent the resigning employee's negativity from affecting other employees, which could lower morale and reduce overall productivity. Finally, it provides more time to implement a recruitment strategy. The most amusing aspect is that Jeff's engineers did not exhibit any red flags at all. So, in terms of a company's overall flexibility, consider the reasons why employees might want to resign, as well as some negative behavior that will be observed. 1. The company's limited growth is ranked first. Employees have a strong desire to advance in their careers, and one of the two most common reasons for leaving a job is a lack of advancement opportunities. Recognizing hard work and recognizing employees for a job well done, as well as establishing a clear career path, can make employees feel like they have a long-term future at the organization. 2. The second point to mention is the feeling of not being paid enough. Another important factor is salary. Employees at Blue Origin may have discovered that their peers at SpaceX earn more, making them acutely aware of their market value. Offering competitive pay and other benefits can thus encourage your employees to stay. However, keep in mind that not all resignations are financial in nature, and that uncovering other underlying factors may be required to retain an employee. 3. Another possibility is that Blue Origin employees were not sufficiently challenged in their jobs. Employees who are engaged in their work and feel like they are constantly learning do not want mindless work. Introducing new challenges and setting new goals keeps employees engaged and motivated. We cannot really account this as one of the reasons Blue Origin employees left, but keep in mind that humans have emotional feelings, and no one must have known Jeff's employees' true intentions. 4. Feeling undervalued. Employees want to be recognized for their efforts. When a company disregards an employee's achievements, the employee may seek value elsewhere, such as a new job. Implement a system for validating good employees so that your employees feel like they are an important part of the company. Employee departures can also provide an opportunity to gain a better understanding of what can be improved in your organization based on feedback gathered during the exit process. Regarding all of the aforementioned reasons, perhaps due to negligence, Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin's lead engineer has left to join Elon Musk's SpaceX, despite the fact that the majority of them were seriously working on Blue Origin's moonlander. It follows Blue Origin, Jeff Bezos' space company, losing out to Elon Musk's SpaceX on a $2.9 billion NASA contract to take humans to the moon. While it may appear that the engineers who left discovered they could have a share of funds in the SpaceX contract, keep in mind that everyone, including you, seeks the most profitable opportunity to secure. For example, one of the Blue Origin's favorite employees, Nitin Arora, publicly announced on his LinkedIn post that he was leaving the company after nearly 3 years. Despite the fact that he has been researching and working on Blue Origin's lunar lander, which is designed to carry various payloads to the moon's surface. My last day at Blue Origin was Friday, August 13th. Working on the lunar program was an incredible experience. Over the last 3 years, I've had the privilege of working with and leading a group of incredibly smart, passionate people. SpaceX is the next stop, Arora wrote in a post. Blue Origin has submitted its lunar lander for a NASA contract to return humans to the moon by 2024. The agency initially stated that it would select 2 winners from SpaceX, Blue Origin, and Dynetics, but instead they only selected SpaceX, and as a result of this single contract, a number of controversies, such as Twitter fights and lawsuits, have occurred between both space companies. Blue Origin did in fact sue NASA over its decision. In a statement to Insider, a Blue Origin spokesperson stated that the company wanted to remedy the flaws in the acquisition process found in NASA's Human Landing System. Before suing NASA, Blue Origin filed a protest in April, offered to pay up to $2 billion for the first 2 years of moon lander production, and posted infographics on their website, describing SpaceX's Starship as immensely complex and high risk. Details appeared to be cherry-picked in the graphics. Morgan McFall Johnson, an insider, reported this. Blue Origin lost dozens of key employees, including engineers, in the weeks after founder Jeff Bezos' spaceflight on July 20th. We guess it shouldn't sound as if these lead workers weren't happy about Bezos' successful flight. The departures came despite Blue Origin reportedly providing a $10,000 no-strings-attached cash bonus to all full-time employees. According to reports, some of the workers who left Blue Origin have joined rival companies such as SpaceX. Another key employee who left was former NASA astronaut Jeff Ashby and was also one of the directors of the New Shepard launch program. Blue Origin has lost at least 17 key leaders and senior engineers, with some joining rival space companies such as Elon Musk's SpaceX and Firefly Aerospace. As a matter of fact, many of those who have left Blue Origin are New Shepard Senior Vice President Steve Bennett, Chief of Mission Assurance Jeff Ashby, retired, National Security Sales Director Scott Jacobs, New Glenn Senior Director Bob S., and others. Altogether, they are about 12 more people. As a result, these talented workers must have discovered something very interesting in SpaceX and decide to seek greener pastures. Blue Origin is currently embroiled in a bitter legal battle with NASA over the decision to award a key contract to rival SpaceX. NASA's decision to award the contract to SpaceX prompted Jeff Bezos and Blue Origin to file a formal protest with the Government Accountability Office. In July, Jeff Bezos offered to personally cover up to $2 billion in NASA costs if the agency also offered his company a contract for a lunar lander. Blue Origin essentially offered to waive up to $2 billion in payments in exchange for funding an orbital mission, without bathing an eyelid for the rest $9 billion to test its technology, as well as covering any system development cost overruns. However, on August 2, 2020, the GAO denied Blue Origin's challenge to NASA's $2.9 billion lunar landing contract with SpaceX. A similar protest from military contractor Dynetics was also rejected. As a result, Blue Origin has filed a federal lawsuit against NASA as part of its ongoing claim that the U.S. Space Agency wrongfully awarded a lucrative contract solely to SpaceX. When NASA announced in early April that it would proceed with SpaceX as the sole contractor for the project, it may have appeared as a meal ticket for Blue Origin engineers, but the space agency cited costs as a primary reason for the decision, namely its own funding shortfalls and SpaceX's proven track record of orbital missions. So we could say that money is what drove Blue Origin's lead workers to leave their formal company for SpaceX. They too want to eat the cake by receiving higher pay while working on NASA's contract at SpaceX. We won't actually blame them because humans are hardwired to seek a higher bid and refuse to accept less. However, suppose a $2.9 billion contract is available, making those engineers at SpaceX millionaires even before the contract is completed. What are your thoughts on this scenario? Is there anything wrong with Blue Origin employees leaving to work for SpaceX? Please do well to share your thoughts in the comment section below. Until next time, please like, share, subscribe, and while you're still around, why don't you click on one of those flashing videos on the screen for more content?